only episode of one of our recap shows that I've only watched once.
Oh. No, I watched it twice, yeah. Okay.
It was a good episode, though. I did really like this one.
It was. I'm very excited to talk about it. Okay.
Can you do the intro and not mess it up like I did? Jesus Christ. That was not good.
It's a bit rough, but it's okay. This is a lot, so I don't blame you. Okay.
I know, we really, if for whatever reason we ever come up with another project, we have to simplify the name. 2 words.
I agree. I agree, trust me. Okay. Sometimes we're into that, but it's even abbreviated, like the AYW. It does.
I know. Too late now. Too late now.
Right. All right, guys.
Are you watching this? Are you watching this? Yeah. Are you watching this? You need to get with it. Are you watching this? We on a TV shit. Are you watching this? You don't wanna miss. Are you watching this? Stop canceling our shit.
Welcome to the Are You Watching This podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ellen.
And I am Chelsea.
And this is an Hacks recap episode. And we are recapping season 2, episode 6. The episode is titled Mrs. Table, which I love.
Yes. And I now, after watching it, get the reference. When I first wrote down the title, I was like, okay.
Like, why? I did not look up who wrote it and who directed.
It was written by Carolyn Lipka and directed by Paul W. Downs. And I will do some, if you want to kind of like walk us into the first episode, I will look her up because I did mean to and I forgot to.
Okay. All right. So episode 6 starts with Ava taking balloons out of the car. And then we have Deb coming into the building and she runs into, actually, like this guy. What's this guy's name? Rob?
Yeah, Rob.
Okay, Rob. And he tells her there's good news and bad news. Good news, she's going to be receiving an award for publicity reasons, the Courage and Coward Award. No, a comedy award, the Courage and Coward. That's what typo just, why did it correct itself?
First of all, I think typos gotten dumber, like autocorrect spell check has gotten dumber as we've gotten dumber. Also, though, was it courageous?
Courage and Coward Award.
Yeah,
that should be an award for some people. In comedy, Courage and Comedy Award that she'll be receiving for like publicity reasons for the show, like hyping, like showcasing the show. And then the bad news is that Cher dropped out because she simply didn't want to do it. So with that news, we kind of just pick up from last episode with the whole ratings of it all, the whole getting people on to help the ratings and stuff like that. Like they're still trying to find their footing with the direction that they're trying to go with the show. Then Deb walks into the writer's room and sees balloons. Ava's in there with the balloons, and on the board, it's like happy birthdays. And Ava explains that she's decided to celebrate like all the birthdays that month in one go. Deborah's obviously like, what the fuck now? And pops all the balloons with her hairpin, which I loved. Would you consider that physical comedy?
Popping the balloons? Yeah, I think a little bit.
Yeah, that's my type of physical comedy.
Subtle. Very subtle. Yeah. Just really punches in the joke. Just
yes.
Little.
Yes. Perfect way to say it. Yeah. Ava's upset by this, and they basically just have like a back and forth about like what it is to be a good boss. Like Ava's trying to connect with her writers and show that she cares, and Deb is obviously like, no, you can't be friends with your employees. which I generally think this is like a real conversation that happens in real life. Like some people as boss think you can't be too cozy with employees, and others think that's the best way you get things out of your employees. I think, just fucking be normal. That's my take on it.
And I think it just depends. I think there's a happy medium, but I think that medium depends on the people, the job,
True.
the situation. It kind of just depends. There are certain jobs that require you to be a little bit more serious. If you get
Yeah.
too jokey, gets people, puts them in harm's way. And then sometimes people take their jobs a little too seriously.
Yeah.
It's, so.
One of those things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Deborah here makes a joke. Well, she's like, what did she say? Why can't I? Ava's like, why can't I? I can be friends with them, whatever. And Deb's like, no, you can't. And then Ava's like, why? Or something. And she's like, well, you can't. I don't know. Something about you can't be their friend. I found it funny. Apparently, I did not with how I wrote it. Then Rob comes in as they're talking and lets them know that they have booked Ruby Rojas to replace Cher. And Ruby, for everyone who doesn't remember, is Ava's ex, who Ava says dated and almost married, in her opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I love Ava.
The acknowledgement that she might not view it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah. The acknowledgement of the delusion is what I love. Yeah. Then Deborah's assistant and then from that scene we go, Deborah's at home in our office, and Deborah's assistant, Damien, comes in and tells her a lot of information about bear piss and coyotes.
Well, I think he's flying or going, I don't know if he's flying, but he's traveling directly to Wyoming to get the bear piss for the house because like they can't ship that much. He has to go pick it up himself.
Yes, and he's gonna drive it back. And I'm just like, wait, how much piss are you driving back with? Again, just those little details.
And I think too, I don't know with your job, but in past, every job that I have, there's just these oddly specific things that you learn that like you never knew were a thing. So like he's learned what kind of bear piss he needs. He's learned where to get it, how much, the fact that you can't ship it. And so like I'm sure there's, you should never think like, oh, I'm going to learn about all these weird things with my job.
Right. Yeah. You what is it? Just like find way like you're proficient in, I don't know, shit that it doesn't matter anywhere else. Oh, you froze again.
Yeah. Nobody cares about.
Yes. Are you back? Yes, you're back. Okay. Shit. Okay. So then from there, DJ calls Deb and asks if Josefina can come for the delivery. And Deb is like, yeah, sure. Also in this, I wrote Caitlin, her name's Olsen, right? Okay, yeah, is really so great as DJ. Like she gives her a depth that she's just such a great actress. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking, now that you mentioned it, I'm like, maybe I'm going to nominate her this week or at some point. I'm going to write it down as an idea.
Okay.
Continue.
I like that. We then get a quick scene where Ava is trying to go to like a Sephora or a makeup shop, whatever, to get her makeup done. She runs into a girl opening a store, and they have this quick back and forth. And Ava ends up having a beauty mark, which when she said that, in my mind, I was like, wait, where are they going to place it? How is this going to look? I'm scared. Like, this is about to be awful. Then after that, we go back to the studio, and Ava goes to say hi to her ex, Ruby. And she's trying to play it cool, play it nonchalant. It is very like secondhand embarrassment overcomes me. Hated it. But then she says, like, I heard you were dating somebody new now. And then she's like, I'm dating somebody new. I'm actually dating 2 people. I got a boyfriend and a girlfriend. I'm super bi. And I loved that delivery. I might nominate her. I think she's killing it
Okay.
this
Yeah.
season.
No, she really is with her line delivery. That's a really good
Yeah.
point. I like
Yeah.
to. Okay. So we see her makeover reveal in this scene. And honestly, she's very pretty. So she looks really good without makeup. So she
Yes.
doesn't. So, but it doesn't look bad. She still looks good.
No.
But the
Yeah.
little braids that they have in the
Yes.
front
Yes.
killed me. And then the
Loved it.
continuity of it all. And later in the episode, she's taking them out, and like the front of her hair has
Yes.
the little,
Little frizzy
yeah,
frizzy ways. Yeah, yeah. A little crimped up.
crimped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yes.
Yeah, so good,
I
so good.
loved it. Yeah, she looked good. It wasn't like so stark, but it was still very like with the two braids. I thought it was very amateur. Like that's the part you can tell she did herself.
Yeah, and like it was just so not Ava.
No, at all. Um, so yes, Ava, making certain things her personality, lets her ex know that she is in this throuple, and then she also lets her know that she's working on a funny bit or whatever, desk bit. So then from there, she goes to Deb's dressing room to share the joke bits for this desk bit or whatever. And Deb only likes 3 out of the 20 jokes, which that is very rough. Like I can't even imagine. But I guess it's a writer's team, so it's not just you coming up with 20 jokes. And Ava's like, "What the fuck?" And then Deb's like, "Don't you have alternates?" Ava's like, "Those were the alternates." So Ava then scrambles back to the writer's room to get more jokes, and it's like, "Go, go, go." There are funny little bits of jokes, like they highlighted the writers' personalities in this scene with each writer giving their bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Then Ava goes back to share the like what is it? I don't know, 3 pages worth or 7 pages worth of more jokes. And Deborah doesn't like all of them and just decides to scrap this bit, which leaves Ava really, really sad. Not really, really sad, but upset, like frustrated.
And mad. Yeah, mad.
I'm mad, yeah. And then the next scene, we see Deb interviewing Ruby. And as she's interviewing Ruby, the story about the proposal of the ring from Ava comes out from Deborah actually pressing Ruby to tell it, which very mean, honestly. So then Ruby explains how she brought this prop ring home because she was getting ready for the show she was about to be on or in film. And then Ava found that ring. This was all from last season. Ava found that ring, and then from seeing it, she decided to propose to Ruby. And yeah, very embarrassing. And so Ruby tells the story, and Ava's just there watching. And honestly, again, I like Ava's stronger than me. I would have cried. Because like not only did this happen, not only did I feel the rejection, now the whole world is finding out. But yes, they don't know it was me, but still, it's a lot. Do you have anything to add up to this point?
No, I mean that whole thing it just made me really feel sad for Ava. I just knew that just had to be a gut punch. Again, like you're saying, yes,
Yeah.
they didn't know it's about her necessarily, but the fact that people laughed at it and she knew it was about her was just
Yeah.
made me sad.
Yeah. Then we get a quick scene. Yes, of Deb at home with her doggies, and she gets a voice note from Josefina reminding her to lock the doggy doors at night, which immediately let me, I was like, something's about to go wrong here. Something's afoot. Then Ava goes to see her boyfriend because her feelings are hurt. She goes to see her boyfriend and girlfriend. And that knock on the window and their scream was so good. Like everyone, even I don't guess actors, extras, whatever, they're really nailing their parts. I love it. And then basically Ava goes in being like, want to hook up. And well, she tells them like she's had a shitty day. They try to talk to her about it. She's like, I just kind of want to kiss, which I've been there, and they want more from her. and they feel like she hasn't been giving them any depth, like hasn't really talked about her feelings and shit, and she's been very guarded. So they break up with her. And again, what I love is when she leaves and the boyfriend says to the girl, like, oh, well, the husband and wife. Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm very proud of you. Like, you asserted your boundaries. And it's just it was such a random line, but it was so, like, if you're watching this back in 10 years, it's such a tell of the time we're in, right? Like, it was so perfect. Great writing. I love everybody involved, honestly. Speaking of dogs. Then the next day, Ava goes into Deborah's office to like express, that she was mad about the exposing the engagement story, and she feels humiliated. And then she walks out being like, fuck you, which fair. Like Ava's in the right here. Like Deborah should feel bad for doing what she did. I also looked up the social media person, Jake Shane, because I've seen him. He's on TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where at least his like primary following is.
Okay. Does he have a podcast?
Ooh, he might now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or he's definitely been on several the past year if he is on his own.
Yeah. He's great in this role too. And I feel like it's such a fun role to have, but still be a part of the season. Like, what a dream for him, I bet.
Yeah, and I like too that they're throwing in the idea that one is this older person in showbiz, but just two, being a celebrity of that level, you have to spend your time making these like dumb TikTok videos. Yes. And you have this like young person that's like, okay, so now, and they're like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Like that's what a social media manager is actually doing. Yeah. And people think it's like fun or whatever. Yeah.
If we get at any point where our social media has more than 5 comments, at any point we will need a social media manager. Because
100%. I'm at the point where I high-key am like, this is a lot. I'm like,
it really
it's
is
impressive.
Yeah. If that is a majority of what you do, or if you are the product that you're selling,
yes,
it really just makes sense to have like it makes sense to invest money into a social media manager.
Yes, I agree. Because it does take time. It does take planning. Like they do way more than people realize.
And they're good at it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's like marketing in a way too,
Yeah. No, it's the exact same thing. It's just applied to a very specific segment.
Yeah. Then from there, with Ava expressing her disappointment, and we see Deb then doing some social media stuff with the Fritos and all that. Ava is in the writer's room, and you can tell she's at her breaking point. And one of the writers comes in late because she went to the ortho to get a tooth gem, and is very like nonchalant. And to be fair to Deborah, like telling Ava you can't be friends, like the writers did, the boundary was not fully set, so they're taking the piss a little bit about work and like friendship or fun or whatever. So then Ava's like, what the hell? And then she finds out that they have a group chat without her. And then she notices because they're having lunch, and she notices branzino on the table. I noticed this piece of like fish, and I'm like, who ordered this? When I'm watching it. But then I was like, maybe it's Ava's and she's talking, and that's why it's not touched. So then Ava spots the branzino on the table and notices it's labeled Mrs. Table, hence that name of the episode. And she's like, who the hell's Mrs. Table? And they explain to her that they always order like something extra and just say it's for Mrs. Table. And then Ava's like, but you'll order like a whole branzino, which everyone knows, like there are certain foods you just don't order as takeout. That is strictly eating at a restaurant dish, and Benzino is definitely one of those things. So Ava then goes on this like rage rampage that is definitely built up through other shit, like Deb being mean, and she breaks and she quits. She then gets in her car and she's screaming all the way through the security gate and drives through the security gate. I loved all of that, and I loved Mrs. Table.
Yes, and yeah, I'm gonna start doing the Mrs. Table. I usually will, if I eat out with a group of people, I try to order food like appetizer for the table before even everybody gets there, so it's something.
Yes.
But I'm gonna say it's for Mrs. Table, not
Yeah.
the table. I also, so with the coworker who went to the orthodontist, I think you kind of mentioned this, but it was not for actual dental work, which is what
Mm-mm.
this is like really what sets Ava off. It's for her tooth gem. And so she's like, not even medical reason. She was like mental health. And she said smiling without a tooth gem was affecting my mental health. And I was like, yes, A plus. A plus.
Yes. That was funny.
I used to leave work early sometimes because like work would end around 4 and I would make a nail appointment at 3:30 because that's when they had an opening. And I'd be like, I have an appointment. I didn't say what kind of appointment it was. It was probably assumed that it was a doctor's appointment or something.
Right. Right.
But it was to get my nails done. I didn't lie.
It was an appointment that you did go to.
Yeah.
Listen, those liberties happen. And they're easier. It's easier to make work when it's like a family company, because I take those liberties all the time. Yeah.
Nepotism is real, and sometimes you just have to be okay with the benefit.
Yeah, because there are also a lot of hardships.
Yes.
So it all balances out. We deserve the half an hour or an hour leaving before end time. We deserve it.
Yeah, the burden.
Yeah. Then Ava finds out that Rob comes in to tell Deb that Ava had a freak out. And Deb seems genuinely concerned and asks to delay the taping of that day's show. And Rob is like, no, we can go on without her. But it was good to see Deborah like hesitate, like this is their thing. So then after the show, which went off without a hitch, Deb goes to Ava's office, and just before the award show, which was later that night, Deb goes to Ava's office to, look around, see if there are any signs of what happened. And Deb finds like an old photo frame of herself in Ava's drawers.
Drawers.
Yeah, in drawers. Have we seen this photo before?
I was trying to figure it out. The only other reference that I don't know if it was the same photo, but in season 1, I think she gives Deborah a framed copy of her Times or some newspaper magazine cover. So I don't know if it's the same one or not.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it did feel like, I was like, I feel like we've had this before.
It felt like a reference to something else.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Then Deborah goes to the award show thing, and before it starts, she talks, or I don't know, they're in a room, and she's with other people, but there's Rosie O'Donnell. And Rosie, or as Deborah called her, Ro, basically talks to her about how Deborah has gotten better in her comedy, and Deborah's like, and how did she do it? Did she take ayahuasca, whatever?
That's like what every celebrity does. Would you ever take ayahuasca?
I would. Yeah, I would. Would you?
I just don't want to be shitting my brains out or puking in the middle of the woods with people I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I am also in a very good mental health space right now, so that's why I wouldn't do it if I'm like not in a good mental health space.
But I think that's what it's good for. It's supposed to like help you overcome things, isn't it? Or no?
But we're always overcoming something. You know what I
Fair.
mean?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like scared to see what's like. I'm more like curious to see what
Okay.
I'm.
Sure.
You
Yes.
know?
You're not
Yeah.
avoiding it.
Yes.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. And Deborah, yeah, so Rosie's like, how did you get better? And Deborah is like, I guess I just found my voice. And you can tell she's like, this conversation is a like place in her mind as she's waiting to get the award. And then after the award show, Deborah goes home, and one of them come running up to her. She walks through the door, and she notices that Barry, the other one, is missing. So she shouting for Barry's name all through around her house. She finally gets to like the back where the security TV screen is, and she sees that Barry's outside, and then she sees a coyote go up to him. And honestly, I was shocked that they like zoomed in on this for the audio. I was like, wait, why are you what? And I really thought Barry was gonna die. Like, we're gonna see Barry get murdered. But then I was like, but white people would not do this. Like, why? but also, I don't know. TV shows.
I feel like it needed a warning for sure, at least.
Yeah, because even though it was a lot, I didn't like it. So Deborah runs out, gets there just in time to chuck her award at the coyote. And Deborah comes in with Barry, and she is, hyperventilating, distraught. And, there's nothing like a near-death experience to remind you of what's important in life. So after this, she then gets in her car to go look for their lesbian Ginger. Which we get to cuts to a scene. Kayla and Jimmy are looking for her, and Kayla calls her. Have you seen she sees someone on the street and she's like, have you seen a lesbian Ginger?
Which, I mean, not an inaccurate way to describe her.
No, and not an insult either. It is what it is. And then Deborah is still driving looking for Ava, and she spots a group of lesbians queued up at an event place. So she does a U-turn and parks to see what's going on, and also a most likely place Ava might be. The show is so funny.
It's so good.
And I laughed this hard watching it, but also reviewing it and talking about, I don't know, just the little details. It just makes me laugh even harder too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And appreciate it even more.
Yeah. So as she's showing Ava's photos to the lesbians in line, because what did she find out that they were there for? It was like a line dance.
Oh, yeah. Some kind of lesbian line dance.
Line dance, yeah. One girl helps her and is like, do you have Find My iPhone? I can help you track where she is. So she goes, Deb is really not proficient with the phone at all, which makes sense. It really does.
How do you feel about, as you age, not that you are old or aging, but if you envision yourself at 65, what's the relationship you want with technology? Do you want to keep up with technology, or do you want to give up at some point and just
No, I want to keep up.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep up, but I don't want to be on socials as much and shit like that.
Sure.
Yeah, but being proficient on the computer and phone and stuff like that, I want to keep up. Yeah.
What
about you?
Same. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to be aware. Maybe not active, so I'm making fun, embarrassing myself.
Yeah.
I will say that as soon as I can't read a menu inside of a restaurant, I will not be using my cell phone technology to use the flashlight to look at the menu. There are two options. You can put me down, or I will just look at the waiter and say, bring me your favorite, and I will just eat. I will just eat whatever's brought to me. I will not question.
Really?
Yes. Or just won't eat it. Like, I would much rather do that than disturb. Like, everybody looks around, like, turns around and is like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, it is such an old people. It is such an old people move. It is so
So
embarrassing.
if I can't see it, I'll be like, bring me this. Just point to something. I don't care.
I'm too picky to do that, but I do appreciate the sentiment. I do get it. Um, would you increase the font size on your phone? Okay.
I No, I on my computer and on my
Mm,
phone, I used to have it even smaller than like the normal font.
yeah.
I don't know why. I guess to take a, utilize all the space. I had to upgrade it to the normal size font, and I will not. That alone was embarrassing. Even
Hold
when
on.
like when you're on Word and you have to zoom in,
Yeah.
even that's embarrassing to me.
What?
Yes, because
Wow.
I see my grandmother and she's typing, texting, and I can see that message from across the room.
Yeah, yeah. So I can't see far. So like sometimes with technology, like with my computer and stuff, I do have to like whatever, have it bigger.
Hmm.
So I tried enlarging this text on my phone. And honestly, it is great, but I was like, I can't be this comfortable with this. I can't just like succumb to this early, you know?
Yeah, and that's what with technology I want to be proficient. And so like I want to keep texting, but if there's a point in which I can't read on my
Yeah,
phone and I have to engage with it in an embarrassing way, that's when I'm like too cool for a phone.
yeah. Or just call. You're the
Yes.
caller. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
I don't want to talk on the phone, so I won't be doing that. But yes. Yes.
Not a caller. So you're a texter.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. I have about 3 phone calls in me in a day, and if I have to make 3 phone calls in one day, that's all the phone calls I'm making for a week.
Okay, so you got 3 phone calls in your week, not a day.
but but I could do 2 phone calls like on Monday and 2 phone calls on Thursday. So that's four
Okay.
phone calls a week. They're just,
Okay.
yeah,
Spaced
max.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I recently found out that I think I'm at the age where I'm a caller. Uh, I just feel like my response time with texting is not good, and I think there's like I'm just like, okay, Ellen, this is ridiculous. Let's find another way. So I think I'm a caller.
Calling really is way more efficient. And I
Yeah.
forget that, or I'm reminded about 50 texts into a conversation when we're trying to discuss like where we're going to meet for dinner and what time.
Yes. But the beauty of, yeah, yeah, you said it, the calling is efficient, but texting is, the beauty of it is you can respond at any time.
Yes.
My
Yep.
issue is I think I have short term memory loss. So, I see it, I forget until I see it again.
Yep. Understood.
Yeah. Okay. What do we? Barry's getting attacked. Oh, lesbian ginger.
They're out looking for
Yes.
Ava.
Ava. Then she gets to find my iPhone. She sees Ava. She drives. She pulls up to the beach. And she gets out and she sees a girl with a similar haircut to Ava get into the ocean. And she thinks that Ava is about to end her life by drowning herself. So Deb runs into the ocean to save Ava, which, we always knew she loved her. So finally. And she gets to the girl. The girl is not Ava. It's a lady training for the polar bear plunge, whatever that is.
You don't know what the polar bear plunge is?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it's always done on New Year's Day, but it's done in the winter and people get into whatever the coldest body of water is that they can and jump in it.
Oh, that's insane.
Frick does it, but he does it by himself.
Wait.
I didn't explain that very well.
At all. Wait. Where does he do it?
So what he like at the beginning of the year, he'll go on maybe like a run, or maybe he will go with a friend. But I don't know. There's a bunch of little creeks and rivers around here, and he'll just
But
jump
he,
in.
when you said he does it by himself, did you mean not with you? Or did you mean like genuinely he does it by himself?
No, like because like usually like the polar plunge is done as a larger event in a city to like be a
He,
fundraiser, and so you pay
yeah.
$50 to like participate in it, and they
Yeah.
put up like a really big pool to make it cold, or you all jump in the river. He doesn't do it with a group of people. He doesn't pay for it. He just
He just
goes
does
in the
it.
middle of the winter and finds a cold body of water
Oh my gosh.
and
That's
gets into it.
insane.
Just or even in general, like when we went out to Montana, we went to Bozeman Lake, and the whole lake is fed by glaciers, so it's
Yeah.
freezing all time. And
Yeah.
he got in it because he was like, I have to get into it because it's so cold. I'm like, that's why you don't get in it.
My gym has like a cold plunge pool. I
Mm-hmm.
tried it once. Like, this is insane. Like, whatever benefits they say, it's not fucking worth it. I don't care. Let me
Mm-mm.
die at 60. I'm good. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I'll sit in the
Have you
sun
ever
and
tried
sweat
it?
all day. Not the cold plunge. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not for me.
But, yeah, no. So the fact that he does that every year is very impressive. And like on purpose, very impressive.
A sign of mental illness too, but yes.
Listen, you can say it. I'm gonna be respectful. So Ava then gets out, and she's obviously freezing. And Ava sees her and is like, "What the hell?" And I love this interaction. Ava well, Deborah was like, I thought that was you. Ava's like, I'm not suicidal. I just want to die. Which I need to make that a t-shirt. They need to they need to sell that somewhere because yes, I 100% relate. I think a lot of millennials relate to that.
I do. Yeah, I do too. And it blows my mind that there are people that just walk around just not feeling that
Feeling
way on
that.
a semi regular basis, or like,
Yes.
it just feels like that's how everybody else is feeling. And apparently it's not true.
No,
And I
when
don't
I
believe
like
that though.
no, I don't. But when you run into a like positive person, not even positive, I don't like the label because I feel like we are positive with how realistic we are about
Hmm.
everything, right? But yeah, a positive person with quotation marks, and like they are truly happy to be alive. I'm like, oh, high key, my mom. I'm like, okay, sure, but yeah, no.
And does your mom, I I could be wrong. I feel like your mom probably doesn't drink too much, probably doesn't
Yeah.
take any medication, so she's not like, she's more or less just like a raw doggy life. She's just like,
Yeah.
I'm here, living it, loving it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You clocked her shit. Yeah. And again, so crazy. But it's not like she is whatever to the bullshit of the
Yeah.
world. She's very aware of it all. And it is sad. And she's like, this is a shit, people of shit. But she's still very happy to be alive. That's the point. Which power to her. Power to those
Jealous.
people.
I'm jealous. I want to be that way.
I don't know. I'm happy to not be a suicidal, but just want to die. I'm okay with that.
Yes. Oh, I mean, if if we have to be anywhere, sure. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. I'm fine with that.
Then they make what's it called, like quick jokes or dialogues about the way Ava would go if she were to die. And she says pills and stuff like that, which is exactly me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this is too dark. Maybe trigger warning to the people listening. But, when I have thought about it, I was like, which way would I go? And I'm too pussy, so pills would be my way.
I'm not trying to suffer. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I'm out here calling myself pussy, but yeah, I don't want to suffer. I'm
I mean,
already suffering through this shit.
just in general, I want to die in my sleep. So,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's the very nice way to go.
yeah.
Yeah. Ideal. Um Then they go to get Deborah warm. She changes out of her thing. They're at this outside cafe, I don't know, restaurant situation. And they finally sit down and have a real ass talk. And thank God, 6 episodes in, we're on the second half of the season. And I'm very happy that we got this conversation, this resolve. Deborah is basically like, don't quit. I set you up to fail. I'm sorry. Give me another chance. Like, the reason why you feel shitty about your job and all this shit, like your performance of your job and all this shit, is because I have not been making it easy on you. But, we got to do this together, kind of thing. And Ava is, yeah, it's hurt and responds by saying, like, I don't even know if I know your voice anymore. But that's also just, I mean, Deb says it, but like, Deb has just been combative. So she's made Ava doubt herself. And Deb responds saying, "You are my voice." And I'm like, okay, waterworks are coming. And then Ava's like, yeah, okay, but I kind of hate you, which I really love that they added that because that is real. And then Deb's like, well, who doesn't? And yeah, they decide to bury the hatchet, if that's what you want to call it. And they have the conversation about how to do the show. And Deb is like, listen, we don't know how long we're going to have this for. We might as well just do it the way we want to. And if we go out, then at least it's in a way that it's like on our terms. And that is exactly how you should approach shit anyway in life. And I'm glad that they came to that conclusion. And then they start just making fun of Stacy, which I love that. There's nothing that bonds two people like,
That is the truth. I was trying to think, and I don't know even why you would really know this off the top of your head. Anyway, do you think this is the first time that Deborah's actually apologized to Ava? Like, legitimately apologized authentically?
I feel like she did it one other time.
Okay, but it definitely was one of the few times where
yes,
Deborah like looked her in the eyes and was like, I'm sorry. Yes. And I love that she admitted that she set her up for failure.
Yeah, 100%. This definitely felt more, and maybe I felt this way when I watched that over the time, and I could be wrong. Maybe it was just this one time. But in this apology, I definitely finally felt like Deborah was being so sincere and like really like, no, Ava, I love you, in this moment, which was so nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that little scene was really good. I like the dialogue between them, and I wrote down the exact same thing. I wrote "You are my voice. I kind of hate you now." Those lines just like really hit me. They were so good.
Yeah.
Oh, so I looked up Caroline Lipkin, and she is known for Hacks, The Dropout, and The American Experience, which was in 1988. So she must be kind of older. And it says that she's additional crew, script, and continuity department, and writer. Which I thought was funny because we just talked about the script continuity director, or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I feel like that's your bag as well.
Which is so funny though. A lot of these writers like really have only written on one or two other projects, and they've only written one or two other they're not they don't have a very long CV when I go to look them up, which I like. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, that was episode 6, Mrs. Table. Did you have anything else to add?
No, and we discussed a couple of episodes ago, kind of like wondering if we would see the beginning of the season, the beginning of the late night season, obviously. Yes. So which we did. So now I'm curious how the season's going to end. I wonder if it's going to end with like the first season ending or.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, because there's still a lot. Yeah, 4 episodes. Still a lot of rope left to do whatever they want to do. And especially with Ava and Deborah being good now, there's not really a conflict, right? So a lot of seasons is like a conflict, and that conflict is like resolved closer to the end. And we're in the middle. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where it goes, because I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess the only conflict is the ratings.
That's what I was trying to think, because the usually it gets resolved, but the conflict gets resolved between the two characters to focus on a bigger problem that's they're both facing. And the only other problem I can see here is like making sure this show's a success.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
that's what they'll shift their focus to.
Yeah. I do hope it's a happy ending. I don't want it to be like a ending where it's like, well, it's realistic. No, I'm okay with it being like in TV land, delusional, happy ending.
I think it will be. I think that's this type of show. They like to use some of that delusional energy to guide the show to keep it upbeat and happy. So I think that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I hope it. I hope that happens. But so far, such a great season, and yeah, on the tail end, on the other half of the season.
We'll find out what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you watching? Are you watching this? Are you watching this?